Hello everyone. Today we're going to be talking about shark ecotourism. Ecotourism can be defined as environmentally responsible travel to natural areas that promote conservation in order to enjoy and appreciate nature.
Now that you know what ecotourism is, you might be asking yourself, what is shark tourism? There's many types of shark tourism. Some of these include activities like snorkeling, scuba, hand feeding, cage diving, viewing breaching sharks, and viewing natural feeding events. Ecotourism has been growing at a rate of 20 to 34% per year. This promotes sustainable tourism all over the globe. Shark tourism takes place in the natural habitats of sharks, and the overall goal of shark tourism is to deter population declines among sharks through economic gains.
There are many activities that come from ecotourism. The main activities of shark ecotourism consist of scuba diving, viewing, and cage diving. Scuba diving is a mode of underwater diving where the diver uses a self-contained underwater breathing apparatus which is completely independent of surface supplies to breathe underwater. Viewing is when boats take visitors out to observe whale shark aggregation and great white shark breaching. Cage diving is the activity of being lowered into the sea in a protective steel cage in order to view sharks at a close range.
One of the many places that people can go scuba diving with sharks is in the Bahamas. There are a lot of benefits of diving with sharks. Diving with sharks increases economic benefit of tourist locations such as the Bahamas. Shark diving and shark and ray-related ecotourism generates over $100 million USD for the Bahamian economy every year. Well-regulated shark diving tourism can be accomplished without undermining conservation goals. A study performed by Bradley D. Papastamatau shows that shark behavioral patterns are not affected by interactions with diving humans over long periods of time. Bradley concluded this through the observation of video recordings from 6 different locations around Palmyra Atoll, which is a ring-shaped coral reef island. Each of the video recordings was about 120 minutes each. While Bradley's research showed that there were no shark behavioral changes, the potential impacts of shark behaviors are entirely context-dependent. Shark diving regulations and management should consider codes of conduct in the water, such as no touching the sharks, as well as managing diving tours over space and time. While there are a lot of benefits to shark diving, there are also many cons to consider. Feeding sharks can lead to them begging from the divers and becoming aggressive. Sharks can be conditioned to approach all types of boats because of baited diving through the association of boats with food. This can lead to dangerous situations for people who don't realize the sharks are close to them. To quote Scuba Diver Life, one of the major concerns related to shark feeding and scenting is the potential risk to humans, either to those diving with the sharks or to other water users where sharks are attracted into shallow coastal waters as a result of baiting. It can be difficult to separate shark behavioral changes due to scuba diving from behavioral changes caused by other human activities like fishing.
Whale sharks are one of the species that are most commonly viewed. In the Philippines, visitors of the country have increased from 800 to 7,200 from the years 1998 to 2005. This has led to an income increase of $180,000. Because of this, Donsel has been able to transform its economy. Before, they were a fishing-based economy, and now they are dependent on ecotourism. Shark watching is the safest form of ecotourism. That is because no humans are meant to enter the water. Instead, they're on a boat, viewing the sharks in their natural habitats. Another benefit of shark watching is research projects. The Mexican Atlantic Whale Shark Project, also known as the Domino Project, began their research in 2003. The researchers studied the genetic relationship, behavior, growth, distribution, and population dynamics of whale sharks through tagging, recapture, and satellite tracking. The whale shark campaign was developed in Gujarat, India. The goal of the campaign was to change the negative image of the whale shark. They incorporated non-government organizations, government and religious leaders in an attempt to overthrow the media. The campaign was successful. The whale sharks were given a new name, Vali, meaning loved one. The media image of whale sharks in India is that they are gentle giants. The changing media image of the whale shark has paved way to ecotourism in Jugarat, India. Not only this, but it has also led to an increase in protection of the whale shark. The government in India now compensates fishermen to cut nets to release whale sharks alive. The government also established national protection to aid the whale shark. Unfortunately, shark watching does have negative impacts to the wildlife that is involved. This is because the industry is not well regulated. In all the activities of shark ecotourism, the participants partaking in the activities are not meant to touch or step on any of the sharks. This goes for cage diving, scuba, snorkel, feeding, or viewing. However, in 2012, a viral photo of a woman using a stranded whale shark as a surfboard in the Philippines went viral. The whale shark had been a part of a mass feeding, but got stranded because the water was too shallow. The tourism group the woman was with allowed her to step on top of the whale shark, which is actually a federal offense. It is against the law, and this is known as wildlife harassment. In 2015 at Isla Mujeres, 200 different boat operators appeared at one whale shark aggregation. 420 whale sharks usually appear at a mass feeding event. There were so many boats and tourists in the water that the boats accidentally hit the whale sharks. This obviously harms the shark, and there have been seen major gashes on the whale shark skin at these aggregations because the boats have been hitting them while they're feeding. It also decreases the quality of this experience for the tourist.
There are many benefits that come with cage diving. The main benefit is that it brings in a lot of money. Every year it generates the US $18 million to the economy of Palua. The money from cage diving helps both economic and social benefits in population. Besides the local and economic benefit, it also funds opportunities for research and education. It also gives researchers the ability to get up and close and observe the sharks. It brings the public awareness of conservation issues when tourists are submerged in the ecosystem. It has been shown that cage diving grew more popular after the release of the movie Jaws. For many people, the movie was the first time they have ever seen a cage dive. After that, people had grown more curious about it and influenced people to dive more in cages. There are some cons to cage diving when not done properly. The main concern when it comes to cage diving is baiting. It is dangerous to handle food around such a powerful predator. If the cage operator ties the bait to the shark diving cage itself to get the shark really close, it can encourage the shark to break into the cage. This can lead to the harm of people and the shark itself. If the operator pulls the bait into the cage, the shark will pursue it, but sharks cannot back up, so it can lead the shark to destroying the cage. There was a recent incident near Guadalupe Island in Mexico on October 4th, 2016. The shark chased a piece of bait into the cage, breaking it, and got itself trapped inside of it. The diver was luckily able to escape out of the hole the shark had made. Fortunately, both the shark and the diver were unharmed. Since the sharks are being baited, they can be conditioned to approach boats. They learn to associate the sound of a boat motor with food. This leads sharks into cage diving areas to stop following their instinctual feeding patterns.
The economic gains for the shark ecotourism is significant. Shark diving is a $25.5 million industry. Snorkeling with whale sharks is an $11.6 million industry. Globally, shark ecotourism brings in $314.3 million. In 20 years, it is predicted that the industry will rise to $785 million. In False Bay, South Africa, also known as Seal Island, you can pay $282 a person to witness great white sharks breaching for 4.5 hours and get inside a cage to go cage diving with them. In California, paying $775 per person gets you a 12-hour trip with all-inclusive food and alcoholic beverages, along with a day of cage diving. Finally, in Oslab, Philippines, you can pay $21 per person to snorkel with whale sharks for 30 minutes. That's $42 an hour to snorkel with whale sharks. Shark ecotourism is necessary now more than ever. The threats to shark include sharks as bycatch, their habitat loss, the shark fin industry, and overfishing of sharks. Not only this, but sharks reproduce slowly. It can take upwards to 10 to 15 years for sharks to reach sexual maturity. Sharks can have 1 to 100 babies at a time, depending on the type of sharks. Sand tiger sharks only have one offspring. Protection of sharks and appreciation of sharks is important. 100 million sharks are killed every year.
In conclusion, shark ecotourism is beneficial if conducted properly. The industry is a sustainable resource to local communities and governments. It allows for fishermen to choose alternate paths, enables people to encounter and appreciate sharks, builds environmental awareness, and funds enforcement for conservations, and supports ecosystem health. The effect of various media's changing attitudes across the globe has led onto international curiosity about sharks and how to help them.